Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. I feel that there's a neglected part of hi-fi, especially going from the mid to the top class, where we're not harnessing the full potential that we could. It's a very small part of the design of basically everything: CD players, amps, DACs, and so on. This could make a big difference. I personally, on my own equipment, did this, and with the previous equipment that I had, I reached uh, a certain what do you call it, time where I just couldn't improve on my sound, and I had to do these small things to improve it, and it did really improve it. But had I done it as one of the first things, then I would not have noticed a positive upgrade. So just to let you guys know. So I feel that it's a very important part of our culture that doesn't get enough attention. And sometimes the fuse holder can make a big difference to the sound. And in theory, also the cable that's connected to the fuse holder. It of course depends on the design of the unit and the class of it. And like you can see here, sometimes you can also soften the vibrations between the fuse here and the fuse holder, so that when it's inside of this box, it doesn't go like that, you know. Sometimes you can put some material in there that softens it up a bit. But you of course have to know what you're doing, be careful. But in theory, you know, outside of this box, I could put like 3M Scotch adhesive pads to make the vibration soften up a bit. Or if there isn't really anything inside of this box, anything conducting an electrical signal, you could in theory just fill this box up inside if there isn't anything in it, with 3M Scotch mass. Just be aware that don't use the cheap stuff that can get runny, and of course consult a professional. Like I said here, I think the important things to remember is that we have very cheap contacts of metal here, here, inside. You can see it's like a clips thingy inside. What secures the fuse, what gets in contact with it around this area here. This is very basic metal, like what's on your bike, or building material, metal, that type of metal. You know, this is very basic metal, and this can get better. I wish more companies would make more of these fuse boxes in a higher quality, because you can get a lot more musicality, taste, and more of a free, organic type of sound. The way that most of these things are built is that it's just going to play structure. It's just going to make the most basic sound. It's going to perhaps seem a bit linear, a bit boring, lacking a bit of taste, a bit of personality. But still, you know, for this to really do a big thing, you know, you have to have a pretty good unit, a pretty good amplifier, a pretty good CD player, pretty good DAC, or else this thing just doesn't do a hell of a lot. So just know that. So yeah, I think it is one of the biggest sins in hardware design nowadays, that we still to this day use inferior quality components. And just switching over to something like FluidTech, if you have a decent system and you've done basically everything that you can do, this is one of the last things that you want to really experiment with. If you got a sound that is still a bit analytical, still a bit boring, still a bit gray, FluidTech will usually do a big thing. You know, it will make the volume more stable, add more tonality richness, more bass warmth, keep the middle range more interesting, and you might easily be able to turn up the volume to a quite a bit higher level. But then there's the opposite, then there's Oyed Inlet R. That's like for people having the best gear in the world, some of the best gear. So it might be a bit boring, it might be a bit closed in, not so exciting. I feel that a lot of gear that's really good when we're starting with gear like ear, Jadis, the basic audio note gear. When we're getting up there, Griffin, Burmeister, stuff like Negra, Spectral, these really good, expensive brands, then I feel that why the hell did they not use an Oyed Inlet R? Why are they still using a 10-cent plug with low quality metal? And they might, come up with some reason for like, oh yeah, we treat the inlet plugs in this certain way, so we don't have to do this. To me, that's like bullshit, it just doesn't make sense, especially when you have really good plugs, really good cables, everything in your system is kind of where it should be, and you're hitting a wall and you're thinking, damn, what should I do? It's still a tiny bit too warm and settled and reserved. I could use a bit of life. I could use a bit of energy. I could use a bit of magic. I could use a bit of taste. The voices aren't quite there. The instruments aren't quite there. Here. That's your solution if you've got good gear. If you've got, subpar, low to mid normal gear, I would use Furutech, either the bottom, mid, or top model. When we get into the top and NCF inlet models, we're still over in that hi-fi type of sound. So you have to kind of decide what kind of flavor you want. But in the end, when your system is built and you don't know how to get those last 5%, this is what you do. This is one of the few things that you do. And think about it. This is where the signal starts and ends. This is where you get your power from your power cable. This is also kind of how you justify buying expensive plugs for your power cables. That last bit of personality and stuff that keeps you hypnotized listening to your music. This is it. This is it. Now I tried doing like the lower model of this. I think it's Oyed 174 plug, and then I put it in a Macintosh amplifier. Wrong move. Really wrong move. You don't want to use an Oyed 174 inlet plug, which is only half as stable as this, and then put it in some gear like Macintosh. That was Macintosh transistor sound, okay? So it wasn't even the biggest model that they had integrated amplifier. So that's a good example of how you fail at doing something, but not realizing the full potential. If I had to do this on a Macintosh transistor amp, I would go for like a 7, 8, 9,000 model, and I would make sure that everything on that Macintosh system was top notch, perfect cables, maybe a bit on the warm side, keep it stable, have a good room, have a good speaker, not too many glass surfaces, and then, then it would be really, really interesting doing this. This would be a very good choice on a Macintosh tube amplifier. Just saying that. I haven't tried it, but my experience, this here usually sounds really good on tube gear, especially the slightly lower end tube gear that is a bit too tonally warm and doesn't give you that last attack, power, release, intensity, resolution. This is like a what do you call it? I don't know. This is like an injection of energy. But yeah, if you've got bad gear, it's also going to expose a bit of noise. And sometimes that noise can be good. You kind of have to judge for yourself. But this is one of those few underrated products on the market that almost no one will try. This is like a lot of people that don't even believe in plugs and cables. They'll just think like, oh, this is just snake oil. It is snake oil. It has the snake oil effect if you have a bad system and it's set up in a bad way, and you're using this and trying to incorporate it into a normal bad way. That can be a nightmare putting this thing on. Then you'll hear how really crappy your system is. But if you've got a good system and it's sitting on the sound and you can't get that last 5% out, do this. Let me just show you guys one thing, just quickly, for you to find all of my videos. This is the thing that I noticed the other day. So I find my channel on YouTube, and I noticed that apparently this is what YouTube shows people when you're on my channel. And I'm just thinking, this kind of explains why people aren't watching all of my videos. So you just click on About. Sorry, go back. Click on videos, but then you look at videos, and then I realize that when you click on videos, you don't always get all videos. Sometimes I don't know why, but it just doesn't show all videos. And if that goes on, this isn't all of my videos. If this happens, what you should then do is sort after like the oldest or the newest or the most popular, and then you should be getting all of my videos. Just letting you guys know that this isn't a very obvious thing for a lot of people, and even me, who's an old supporter, I was like, damn, they don't even show all the videos from all the channels. I was looking at several people's channels and I was going, how is this possible? Why aren't they showing all the stuff? I still think that they're not showing all of my videos here. It doesn't look like they're still showing all of my videos. I can't explain this. Maybe you guys can explain it to me. Perhaps I'm doing something that's a bit stupid, doesn't quite make sense. But why aren't we all being shown the channels? I have about 300 videos. How much are there here? I mean, I'm guessing just by the look of it here, it looks like there's only about 100 videos. What is that? 6 times 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29. No, it's not quite there, feels like there's some of the videos that are missing. Maybe you guys can tell me about it in the comments, because I'm apparently a bit too stupid to to figure this out. This should be a pretty basic thing, but yeah, you don't always get to see the videos on everybody's channel. It's kind of locked, and you have to unlock it with pressing these different things, so I don't really get why that is. That is so weird. I really don't get that. And I also want to say that, I've got stuff like this here, people aren't clicking on that, and and I know it doesn't have directly anything to do with HIFI, but just it's going to make you enjoy eating pizza more. It's going to make you save money, and I might also do like a video on what do you guys want? Do you want more hi-fi advice or combined with life advice? Should I try to go into something like golf tips and instruction, I can also do that. Should I try and go into EV? Like for example, the information that I get put in this video here is like really on a high level. I'm just surprised that no one clicks on it. I know YouTube is a big place, so that's why they probably haven't found that video yet. And also, what surprises me a bit is that people don't click on these real music video clips. There are actually some pretty good music clips there. I just I just want you guys to find the good stuff out there. Currently, I don't have anything to sell to you guys. I'm just a regular, passionate dude who wants to make everybody in the world have access to a top sound, so they don't have to go into like a religious club and do a lot of bad stuff that doesn't work and then burn themselves, not figuring out that, like for example here, you can make your own headphone amplifier for like a tenth of the money of what you usually would pay for in the stores. It's just basic stuff like that I like to make videos about. Or like for example, unlocking a Macintosh amplifier. A lot of Macintosh people will never get to see this video and won't get that last 50% because they think that the amplifier does everything. It doesn't. It does most of the things, but there are some few tips here. So if you owned Macintosh gear, it would end up sounding at least twice as good. This is, again, me making a free video. I'm just surprised, I'm surprised sometimes looking at negative feedback. Like, for example, here, I could do more about Audiophile Linux. This is my first video. And by the way, like one of my worst ratings here. It was filmed in a bad way. I didn't know what I was doing. I got a bit more control over it throughout the years, but no one's really talking about this. Audiophile Linux is the best operating system that you can install on a streamer. Is it difficult? Yeah, really difficult. Like 10 times more difficult to install than Windows. But know this: if you can figure it out following the guides on the internet, this could give you a huge boost in your sound if you've made your own streamer. So there's a huge the difference that I got from going from a regular Windows system to this was huge. I might as well have gone from like a Macintosh MA 6900 to a 7000 model. That's how big a difference it made, and that's 25,000 Danish kroner in my country. That back then, 10 years ago, that's still a lot of money. That's like, what is that? That's around $3,500-4,000 just by changing the operating system. Of course, I also had a really good system at that time when I did that. I just want to tell you guys about all of this stuff. It's just stuff that's on my mind that kind of makes you wonder, why aren't people clicking on this? Like, for example, here, Real Video Vault. No one's really clicking on that. I know that there's some kind of a copyright country limitation that makes it inaccessible. I'll probably try to deal with that a bit later. But like here, this is probably the most important video on YouTube. No one's clicking on it. And I'm like saying, what the hell, Do I have to become Elon Musk and invest $10 million in advertising? This is like the root of what makes everything sound 10 times better by using like a tenth of the money going through, just buying the gear that's already on the market, assuming that you have a lot of money. It's like sometimes it baffles me a bit. I'm like mind blown by. I feel like I'm in this world of I've got access to a lot of good stuff. Sometimes stuff that just comes to me while I'm asleep, and I'm just thinking, how the hell can I get this message out so normal people can get access to all of this normal stuff that me and my friends know, so that people in the world will enjoy their music a hell of a lot more and save so much money and be able to get stuff like Martin Design, Macintosh, Audio Note, regular people, you know? It just it amazes me sometimes, you know? Also, for example, like here we have like the best ice cream in the world. I know this is off topic, but why aren't people clicking on that video? Because that will make them a lot more, get into a better mood so they can enjoy their own sound. It's like, I feel like, you know, this is the problem with YouTube. You have to be a certain person selling a certain product, using all the platforms, being a bit fake, condensing your information. I'm a bit all over the place, I'm sorry. But I've got a lot of brilliant stuff to say, and a lot of people just aren't clicking on my videos, and I'm like going, what? Also, for example, here, why do musical fidelity people really hate on this video? Because I explain into detail why it is the way it is, how to save the sound, and I just feel that, you know, no one did this, and then finally, because I'm doing it, I'm the only one doing it, you know, describing a whole brand, how it sounds like. It just seems a bit random that even though I basically put musical fidelity and Vincent in the same you know, quality ranking, you know, it's just like random, the people that click on it. So these people are like probably the ones that don't own Vincent, who think like, yeah, he's right, 100% likes. And these people over here are most likely the people that own the gear and goes like, oh yeah, that doesn't sound like my musical fidelity. But then again, you kind of have to flip it and go, okay, if these are the people that don't own it but think that agree with me, and these are the people that own it but don't agree with me, have the people that own it that don't agree with me, have they left that reality of that gear? Have they tried owning Class A gear that's better, ear gear that's better, Audiophile that's better, Macintosh gear that's better? Have they tried that, or is this still the best sound that they've heard? Have they not left that reality? And you know, this is gonna sound weird, but if a person goes into a video, looks at it, gives me a bad rating, most likely what will happen is that has a flow to it, and it grabs a bit of momentum, so that this could either become a very successful channel 100%, or like a really unsuccessful channel like 50, 30, 20% satisfaction. And it just, sometimes that just makes you as a creator want to take away the rating of the video so it doesn't influence the viewer, if you know what I mean. I'm just telling you guys this because these are the thoughts that I have, and that's why I do what I do. And this is why I, for example, don't have timestamps on my video. Timestamps will make people jump through my video, so you will miss a lot of the basic information. Now, if I dealt with information at a very basic level, if I was a news channel or anything like that, I could perfectly understand why you want timestamps. But when you have good quality stuff like me, you kind of want to avoid timestamps, because the basic information that takes you from the start to the end, that's needed for you to digest and fully understand the message, is crucial. And if I put timestamps and people only watch 5 minutes out of a 1 hour video, that kind of destroys it for me. Then I have to make more videos, then people don't get it, then I get more questions. It's just so you guys realize that the things that I struggle with, why things are the way they are, why I'm not doing a better job. I'm trying to do as good as a job as possible. I'm just letting you guys know that it's difficult. It's difficult to satisfy a very wide range of people. It's difficult for me to not fall into the trap of selling a certain product, not relying on advertising. And I might, in a year, 2 or 3, if it gets possible, try to use some YouTube advertising on this channel, maybe, to keep like my interest going. Because right now I've used like a couple of thousand hours on putting basically everything in my head on this channel. This is stuff that most high level engineers can't even dream up. This is truly valuable stuff, and I'm just thinking, how the hell do I get this to more people out there, so they can click on my video, so I can actually survive doing this on YouTube. You guys tell me about it on YouTube. Maybe I have to make a separate video, like, what do you guys want, so you can comment on it. I know it's a lot to take in. It's kind of off topic. I just wanted to show you guys this, because it means a lot to me. I really want to help the people out there at a high quality level, so that people don't give up and feel like hi-fi is too expensive and they can't get anywhere. So that's the stuff that I have to deal with. And yeah, if you could like and subscribe, that would help me a lot. And have a nice day.